Let me ask you something. How many times have you kept quiet, even when your heart was screaming? How many times did you feel small, not because you were wrong, but because you were shy? Shyness looks innocent, but slowly, quietly, it steals your confidence, your voice, and sometimes your happiness. Today, I don't want to make you louder. I don't want to make you aggressive. I just want to make you honest with yourself, because there are some things in life you should never, ever be shy about. And if you learn these 4 things, you won't just speak better, you will live better. So listen carefully, not with your ears, but with your life. Let me tell you something very honest. Most people don't suffer because life is too hard. They suffer because they try to face life alone. Somewhere along the way, we were taught a dangerous idea. If you ask for help, you are weak. But let me ask you, when a child falls, does the child become weaker by holding a parent's hand, or does the child become stronger? You see, strength is not about carrying everything by yourself. Strength is about knowing when to share the weight. Many of us smile in public, but silently struggle in private. We say, "I'll manage," but inside we are tired, confused, overwhelmed. And the truth is, the problem doesn't grow because it is big. It grows because we hide it. Asking for help is not an announcement of failure. It is an act of self-respect. It means you value your mental peace more than your ego. Think about this. Doctors ask other doctors for opinions. Pilots rely on co-pilots. Great leaders have mentors. So why do we believe that we must handle everything alone? Sometimes help doesn't mean solutions. Sometimes it means someone listening. Someone saying, "I understand," and that alone can heal half the pain. But shyness whispers lies into our ears. What will people think? Don't bother anyone. Handle it yourself. My friend, the people who truly care about you want to be there for you, and those who judge you for asking for help, they were never meant to carry your story anyway. Remember this, you don't ask for help when you are weak. You ask for help when you are ready to grow. So the next time life feels heavy, don't lower your head in shame. Lift it with courage. Reach out, speak up, because asking for help doesn't make you small. It makes you human, and being human is your greatest strength. Let me speak to you from the heart. We live in a world where we are taught how to hide our feelings, not how to handle them. From a very young age, we hear sentences like, "Don't cry, be strong, control yourself." Slowly, unknowingly, we start believing that feeling deeply is a weakness. So we smile when we are hurting. We laugh when we feel lonely. We say, "I'm fine," when everything inside us is breaking. But tell me something honestly. If you don't express what you feel, where do you think it goes? Feelings don't disappear, they get stored, and whatever is stored for too long turns into pressure. Unexpressed sadness becomes heaviness in the heart. Unspoken anger becomes irritation. Hidden fear becomes anxiety. And emotions that are never acknowledged eventually start controlling us from the inside. You see, being open about your feelings doesn't mean you are emotional all the time. It means you are aware. Aware of what is happening within you. Crying does not make you weak. In fact, crying is the body's way of releasing what words cannot carry. Tears are not a sign of breakdown. They are a sign of release. Many people say, "I don't want to trouble anyone with my emotions," but silence troubles you far more than honesty ever will. When you share what you feel with the right person, you don't become a burden. You become real. And real connections are built on truth, not pretending. Sometimes just saying, "I am not okay today," is more powerful than giving 1,000 explanations. Remember this. You don't need to explain your emotions to everyone. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world, but you must allow yourself the freedom to feel without guilt. Being emotionally honest with yourself is the first step to emotional strength. A person who understands their feelings can manage their reactions. A person who suppresses them eventually loses control. So never be shy about your feelings. Don't imprison your heart to please the world. Express with wisdom. Share with care, feel without shame, because emotions are not obstacles on your path. They are signboards. They tell you what matters. They tell you where healing is needed. And the day you stop running away from your feelings is the day you truly start understanding yourself. That is not weakness, that is emotional courage. Let me share something very simple, yet very powerful. Most of the pain we experience in life does not come from bad people. It comes from good people who don't know where to stop. We want to be nice, we want to be helpful, we want to be liked. And in that effort, we slowly forget ourselves. We say yes when our heart is tired. We agree when we feel uncomfortable. We stay silent when something feels wrong, not because we want to, but because we are afraid of hurting someone, afraid of being misunderstood, afraid of losing relationships. But let me tell you something important. Every time you ignore your limits, you teach people how to treat you. Boundaries are not walls, they are guidelines. They tell others how to love you properly. If you don't define your limits, the world will define them for you, and rarely in your favor. Many people confuse boundaries with selfishness. But selfishness says, only I matter. Boundaries say, I matter too. There is a huge difference. Saying no does not make you rude, it makes you honest, and honesty may feel uncomfortable in the beginning. But resentment is far more painful later. When you keep overgiving, people start over-expecting. And when you finally get exhausted, they say, you've changed. No, you didn't change. You finally woke up. You see, people who truly respect you will respect your boundaries. And those who get angry when you set limits are often the ones who benefited from you having none. Boundaries protect your energy, your time, your mental peace. They allow you to give from abundance, not from exhaustion. You cannot pour love from an empty heart. You cannot give patience when you are drained. And you cannot stay kind when you are constantly violated. Setting boundaries is an act of self-love. It is you telling yourself, my peace is valuable. And remember this, you don't need to announce your boundaries loudly. You just need to enforce them consistently. Quiet strength is still strength. So never be shy about drawing the line. Not everyone deserves unlimited access to you. Not every demand deserves your agreement, and not every relationship deserves your sacrifice. Protect your peace, respect your limits, because when you honor yourself, the right people learn how to honor you too. That is not distance, that is wisdom. Let me say this with complete honesty. If you lose your self-respect, it doesn't matter how much love you receive, how much money you earn, or how many people surround you. Something inside you will always feel empty, because self-respect is not an extra in life, it is the foundation. Many people think self-respect means ego. It doesn't. Ego says, I am better than you. Self-respect says, I will not allow myself to be treated badly. And there is a huge difference. Most people don't lose self-respect in one big moment. They lose it slowly, quietly, by tolerating what hurts, by laughing at insults, by adjusting again and again, hoping one day things will change, but adjustment without dignity is not maturity. It is silent self-harm. You see, the world learns how to treat you by watching what you tolerate. When you stay where you are disrespected, you send a message, this is acceptable. And once that message is sent, it is very hard to take it back. Self-respect means knowing your worth even when others don't. It means walking away from situations that slowly break you, even if your heart wants to stay. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is not fight, but leave. Not because you are weak, but because you finally value yourself. People may call you difficult. They may say you've changed. They may say you are selfish. Let them, because people who benefited from your silence will always be uncomfortable with your self-respect. Remember this, you teach people how to treat you, not by what you say, but by what you accept. Self-respect is choosing peace over popularity, dignity over approval, and self-worth over temporary comfort. It is having the courage to say, I deserve better, even when it means standing alone for a while. And let me tell you something beautiful. When you start respecting yourself, you don't lose people, you lose disrespect. The right people stay, the wrong ones fade away. So never be shy about your self-respect. Protect it, honor it, guard it carefully. Because the moment you stand up for your dignity, life starts standing up for you. And that is true inner strength. Let me tell you something very real. Most dreams don't die because they are impossible. They die because we are embarrassed to believe in them. We look around and see people playing safe. We hear voices saying, be practical, don't aim too high, what if you fail? And slowly, very slowly, we start shrinking our dreams to fit into other people's comfort zones. But let me ask you this, since when did the size of your dream become dependent on someone else's opinion? Dreams are not noise, they are signals. They come from a deep place inside you that knows what you are capable of becoming. When you feel shy about your dreams, it's not because the dream is small, it's because the dream is important. Important dreams make us vulnerable. They expose our hopes. And with hope comes the fear of disappointment. So we pretend we don't care. We say it's just an idea. But inside we are deeply attached. Here's the truth. The people who laugh at your dreams today are not evil. They are simply limited by what they believe is possible. They measure your future with their past experiences. But your path is not meant to make sense to everyone. It only needs to make sense to you. Every meaningful achievement in this world was once called unrealistic. Every success story began as a private dream someone was afraid to share. You don't need applause when you start. You need commitment. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You need to believe in yourself on days when no one else does. Dreams don't ask for permission. They ask for courage. And courage is not the absence of fear. It is moving forward despite fear. Be selective about who you share your dreams with. Not everyone deserves access to your vision. Some people water your dreams. Some people poison them with doubt. Choose wisely. And remember, even if you fail, you will fail doing something that mattered to you. That kind of failure builds character, but regret stays forever. So never be shy about your dreams. Speak them with confidence. Work on them quietly. Protect them fiercely. Because the dream you are scared to say out loud is often the dream you were born to fulfill. And one day, when that dream becomes reality, your courage will inspire someone else to stop being shy about theirs too. Let me say this gently, because it matters deeply. Many people don't stay silent because they are foolish. They stay silent because they are afraid of looking foolish. So they nod. Even when they don't understand, they smile. Even when they are confused, they move forward with half knowledge and full doubt. And later in life, they pay the price. Asking questions is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of curiosity. And curiosity is the beginning of wisdom. Every expert you admire today once asked very basic questions. They just had the courage to admit what they did not know. But our ego whispers, what will people think? What if they judge me? What if I look stupid? Let me tell you something honest. People may forget your question, but you will remember your confusion. For a very long time, silence does not make you intelligent. Understanding does, and understanding begins with a question. Life is already complicated. Why make it harder by pretending? A simple question asked at the right time can save you years of struggle, thousands of mistakes, and countless regrets, many misunderstandings, broken relationships, and wrong decisions happen. Not because people are bad, but because they didn't ask. They assumed, they guessed, they imagined. And assumptions are the most expensive shortcuts in life. Asking questions shows humility. It says, I am willing to learn, and a person willing to learn can never truly fail. You don't have to ask loudly, you don't have to ask dramatically, you just have to ask honestly. And remember this, the right people will never shame you for asking. They will respect you for caring enough to understand. If someone makes you feel small for asking a question, they are not superior, they are insecure. So never be shy about asking questions. Ask in classrooms, ask in meetings, ask in relationships, ask in life. Clarity is always kinder than confusion. The moment you stop asking, you stop growing. And the moment you start asking again, you give yourself permission to move forward with confidence. Because knowledge doesn't come to those who pretend to know. It comes to those who are brave enough to say, please explain. That courage will take you very far. Let me speak about something many people understand, but very few have the courage to practice: walking away. We often think strength means holding on, enduring, adjusting, trying again and again, but sometimes real strength is knowing when to stop. Not every door is meant to be forced open, not every relationship is meant to be saved, and not every situation deserves your continued presence. Many people stay where they are hurt because they are afraid of being alone. They fear emptiness more than pain, so they choose familiar suffering over unfamiliar peace. But let me tell you something important. Staying where you are disrespected slowly teaches your heart that it deserves less, and no one heals in a place that keeps breaking them. Walking away is not running, it is choosing yourself, when staying would mean losing yourself. We hold on because of memories, because of effort already invested, because of hope that maybe things will change. But hope without action can turn into a prison. If you are constantly explaining your worth, you are in the wrong place. If you feel smaller every day, something is wrong. Leaving will hurt. There is no denying that, but staying will hurt longer. Sometimes the closure you are waiting for does not come from others. It comes from your own decision to stop accepting what hurts you. People may not understand your choice. They may say you gave up too easily. They may say you are selfish, but they are not living your life. They are not carrying your pain. Walking away does not erase love. It simply means love is no longer enough to justify disrespect. And remember this: when you leave what drains you, you create space for what nourishes you. Peace often enters your life through the door you finally closed. So never be shy about walking away. Choose your dignity over drama, your peace over chaos, your self-worth over attachment, because sometimes the most loving thing you can do is walk away and never look back. That is not weakness. That is self-respect in motion. Let me share something quietly powerful. Your values are not something you wear outside. They are something you live from the inside. And yet many people feel shy about them. They hide their honesty in dishonest environments. They silence their principles to avoid conflict. They adjust their standards to fit in. But tell me, what is the cost of fitting in if it means losing yourself? Values are the invisible compass of your life. When everything around you is confusing, your values tell you what feels right and what feels wrong. The problem begins when we start bending our value for convenience. A small compromise here, a little silence there, and slowly the line between right and wrong starts fading. You don't lose your values in one day. You lose them one excuse at a time. Being honest may make you uncomfortable. Being fair may make you unpopular. Being kind may make you misunderstood, but values were never meant to be easy. They were meant to be steady. You see, success without values may bring money, but it never brings peace. Applause without integrity is very loud on the outside and very empty on the inside. When you stand by your values, you may stand alone sometimes, but that loneliness is far lighter than the burden of regret. People may question you, they may mock your simplicity, they may test your patience. Let them, because character is revealed not when life is comfortable, but when it is challenging. You don't need to preach your values. You don't need to prove them, just live them. Consistency speaks louder than explanation. And remember this: the world does not need more clever people. It needs more conscious people. Never be shy about your values. They are the reason people trust you. They are the reason you sleep peacefully at night. They are the reason you can look at yourself without guilt when everything else is taken away: titles, roles, achievements. Your values are what remain. Protect them, honor them, live by them. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how far you go in life, it's about who you become along the way. And values are the only things that never betray you. Let me be very honest with you. Improving yourself often feels uncomfortable. Not because you are doing something wrong, but because you are outgrowing who you used to be. Many people feel shy about self-improvement. They hide their efforts. They downplay their growth. They worry about being judged for trying. But tell me, since when did trying to become better becomes something to feel awkward about. You don't owe anyone an apology for wanting to grow. Growth exposes insecurity, not in you, but in those who feel threatened by your progress. When you start working on yourself, some people won't clap, they will question, they will tease, they will say, "You've changed." Yes, that is the point. Change is not betrayal. Stagnation is you cannot remain the same person forever and expect different results from life. Self-improvement is not about competition. It is not about proving anyone wrong. It is about honoring the potential. You are given reading books, learning new skills, working on your health, healing your mindset. None of this makes you arrogant, it makes you aware. The most dangerous comfort zone is the one where you convince yourself that you are already good enough to stop growing. But growth is not loud. It is quiet discipline, small habits, daily effort. And that is why many people don't notice it until one day they do. Improving yourself also means admitting where you need to improve. And that takes courage. Ego says, "I am fine as I am." Wisdom says, "I can be better." When you work on yourself, you stop blaming others, you take responsibility. And responsibility gives you power. Never be shy about learning, never be shy about practicing, never be shy about starting again. It doesn't matter how slow you go, what matters is that you don't stop. Because one day, the same people who questioned your growth will quietly admire your consistency. So improve yourself without announcing it, grow without seeking approval, become better without guilt, because self-improvement is not a rejection of who you were, it is respect for who you can become, and choosing growth is choosing life. Let me speak from the heart about something very simple, yet very powerful, being yourself. It sounds easy, doesn't it? Just be yourself. But when was the last time you truly allowed yourself to be exactly who you are, without masks, without apologies, without pretending? Most of us live in imitation. We wear the clothes society wants. We speak in the tones people expect. We smile in ways that please others. And somewhere along the way, we forget the sound of our own voice. We become shy about being ourselves because we fear judgment. We worry about fitting in. We compare ourselves to others who seem stronger, smarter, more talented. And slowly, the uniqueness that makes us who we are gets buried under layers of doubt and conformity. But here is the truth. The world doesn't need another copy. It desperately needs your original. No one else can think your thoughts. No one else can feel your feelings. No one else can express life in your way. When you hide your true self, you may gain temporary comfort, but you also lose connection. People sense when you are pretending. They can feel it in conversations, in relationships, in moments that matter. Being yourself is not about being perfect. It's about being honest. Honest with yourself and honest with the world. It means showing your vulnerabilities, your dreams, your mistakes, your quirks. It means walking into a room and saying, "This is me, take it or leave it," and knowing that the right people will take it and the wrong ones will leave. There is courage in being authentic, because being yourself can feel lonely at times. People may question you, they may misunderstand you, they may even mock you. But living inauthentically, that's far lonelier, because it creates a life that isn't yours. A life where you may have everything, yet feel empty inside. Being yourself also inspires others. When you have the courage to shine in your own light, you give others permission to do the same. You create a ripple effect that goes far beyond what you can see. And remember this, being yourself does not mean ignoring growth. It means growing into who you truly are, not into someone the world expects you to be. So never be shy about being yourself. Express your thoughts, follow your path, live according to your values, passions, and heart. Because the moment you embrace your true self, you stop comparing, you stop pretending, and you start living fully. Being yourself is not just an act of honesty, it is an act of courage, it is an act of love, love for yourself, and love for the world that needs your light. And that is the most powerful way to live.